Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the TNA report. I know I said I was going to try to make this like a weekly thing, and that obviously hasn't happened, but I just been too busy to really make many videos the last couple of weeks. And then by the time I got to the point I could do the TNA report, we only had like one more week left until the next pay per view, so I figured I'd just wait till then. So I definitely would try to get the ball rolling and try to do this more weekly. I don't also watch TNA live. I also wait until it goes on TNA Plus, and then watch it that way so I can watch all the stuff that happens like in between the commercial breaks and everything like that. But I'm here for episode 2, um, and I'm gonna get the ball rolling with this. Um, Probably we'll just do predictions for the next pay per view coming up, and then anything that's not related to the pay per view, I'll kind of give my thoughts on, and then just kind of get out of here. So, um, yeah, let's get it started. So we have TNA No Surrender 2026. If you're watching this on a Friday, it's tonight, Friday the 13th. But if you're just watching this, it's already happened, so this will mean nothing to you. But yeah, let's just get right into it. This is kind of a way to kind of talk about all the storylines that have happened recently. No, I'm just using the Wikipedia page to kind of go over the pay-per-view codes. And they haven't really announced this on the Wikipedia page, but they went and announced it on Instagram. On the Countdown show, there's going to be a couple matches on there, but it's on a Wikipedia, so I guess they don't have the matches like announced or anything like that yet. But Sino and Saint are going to be in action, and Ryan Nemeth is going to be in action. If I had to make a guess who's going to win these matches, I'm going to say Sino and Saint were going to win. Who will they face? They're in Nashville. It's probably going to be someone maybe local to Nashville, but I'm not really sure. I don't see them doing like a squash match because it's like on the show and everything like that. I feel like they would save that for Explosion. I would like them to bring back the Andersons, C.W. Anderson and Brock Anderson, because they had a killer match on Explosion, I think a few weeks ago. But I imagine Sino and Saint are going to win that. They're the ones that are actually signed to TNA, and they're a really good team. It's really weird. They haven't been on the shows really much recently, so it's kind of weird they're doing this match. And as for the Ryan Nemeth match, I think that's also going to be someone that's like local to Nashville. And I actually think Ryan Nemeth is going to lose this. I think his whole gimmick is that he always gets made to look like a fool no matter what. So I think it'd be funny if he lose this. I don't think it would hurt him that much. What's actually probably going to happen is he's probably going to cheat to win. But I think Ryan Nemeth is probably going to lose this match. Not only I think that would be funny if he actually lost this match. But let's kind of go through the actual stuff that's on the show. I'll kind of take it as it comes together. Really weird pay-per-view this because none of the some of the matches, but most of the matches that they've been setting up on TV didn't really come to pass. They just kind of had Dario A announce these matches, and none of the storylines have really built to these matches. So it's really weird how they kind of put these matches together, but whatever. We have a battle royal, a knockouts battle royal, where the winner is going to receive a future knockouts world title match. They just announced this on TNA last night. Obviously, they haven't announced the competitors, but I'm just going to imagine it's going to be most of the knockouts that don't have a match on the show. They may bring back a few surprises. Now, what's probably going to happen is Ash by Elegance is going to win this because recently she just returned. And I feel like they want to get her back in the knockouts title picture, so this is a good way to do that. I'm not picking her, though, because I don't really like the Elegance brand and what they're about. So I'm just going to pick something that doesn't completely make sense and just go with it. It's also tough, though, because I feel like everyone that I probably would pick are in other matches on this show. So it's really tough to pick one. I don't think it's going to be Dani Luna, considering the fact that she already has like a title match when she comes back. So I don't really see why she'd be in this battle royal. That really wouldn't make any sense. I was going to pick Indy Hartwell, but she already has a match on the show, unless she's going to be in the Battle Royal and then come out and have the match later or vice versa. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to go just on a complete limb here and just pick Rosemary. I think Rosemary and Xia Li would be a pretty... Well, not Xia Li. Yin and Lee, I forget how to say that name. But Xia Li, I think That would be a pretty interesting match for the title. You could just do that on Impact and be fine. But it is probably going to be Ash by Elegance and Millie, but I'm not picking her, so I'm picking Rosemary. Doesn't make any sense because obviously Rosemary hasn't been on television. She's probably going to be like one of the first eliminated, but I'm not picking Ash by Elegance. It's just not going to happen. Other matches, another match that was added on the show was the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team title match. It's Em and Heather by Elegance defending the titles against Indy Hartwell and Xia Li. Obviously, this is happening. This has been built in the past few weeks. You know, they've been kind of building this feud between the Elegance brand, Indy Hartwell, and the Angel Warriors. Obviously, Indy Hartwell beats Em by Elegance a few weeks ago, and then in the 6-woman tag with Xia Li and Xia Brookside involved. Xia Brookside got the pin on Heather by Elegance. And obviously, because Yin and Lee, Xia Li, whatever her name is, has a match on the show already. They're just going to do a tag title match with Indy Hartwell and Xia Brookside challenging for the belts. Not going to happen, but I'm picking it anyways. I'm picking Indy Hartwell and Xia Brookside to win. Not a big fan of the Elegance brand, so I don't want to pick them to win any of the matches. They're probably going to win this because, you know, Indy Hartwell and Xia Brookside are a thrown together tag team. They need to get some tag teams for the Knockouts tag division because they took a big hit by losing the Inspiration. And then they had one building up with Killer Kelly and Rosemary, but then Killer Kelly left. So they need to get some Knockouts tag teams in there. They had to basically resort to NXT to get a tag title match like going. So we'll see what happens. But I'm picking Indy Hartwell and Xia Brookside to win this. Another match that was added last night is BDE versus Eric Young. This has some storyline to it. Eric Young offered BDE to like join him and take down TNA, but obviously BDE refused, so Eric Young attacked him. He was gonna get suspended, but then Dario Way overturned Santino, and they're having this match on the show. Really interested to see what they could do here, because Eric Young did lay him out. And this would be a good way. Maybe they could give BDE a shock upset win, and then Eric Young could just lay him out again. Maybe someone could interfere on Eric Young's behalf because he's been saying like a cleanse is coming for like weeks, and kind of insinuating the fact that he's not working alone. But that doesn't seem to really be the case because he's been doing this for a while and not much has come of it. But I'm gonna say Eric Young just wins. I feel like you know, he's got a lot of heat behind him with this cleanse the palette of TNA or whatever it is. I feel like BDE is not really going to have much wins, and then he's going to have like an underdog story and come back and get a bunch of wins and maybe win the international or maybe the X Division title at some point. But I'm going to say Eric Young wins. I'm pretty sure too Eric Young has a contract to get an X Division title match when he wants, so that could be something interesting that happens. And then on the show, we have Shannon Stacks Lorenzo defending the international title against Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel just recently returned. This is pretty cool. You know, he got fired from AEW because of some controversial posts on X that he made, and WBD like forced AEW to fire him. And then TNA picked him back up again. He showed up in Feast or Fired. He won Feast or Fired, and I think it would have been really funny if he just got fired again, but they obviously didn't do that. You know, they have an opportunity to push Trey Miguel as a single star. Again, you know, he's been singles before, back before the Rascals came back. He was kind of doing his own thing. So this is pretty cool. I think they should capitalize and put the X Division championship, not the X Division, the International Championship on Trey Miguel, and capitalize on all the momentum that he kind of has with his firing from AEW, coming back from TNA. I think that would kind of be a shot in the arm the TNA needs. I think this would be pretty cool. This is his Feast or Fight shot too, so. And, you know, I'm pretty done with this whole Stacks, Ariana Grace storyline. So I feel like just getting it off of TNA would be pretty cool. Probably not going to happen. But I'm going to pick Trey Miguel to win this. Maybe like, you know, Stacks will ask Ariana Grace to help him cheat, but she'll refuse, and then it'll cause him to lose the match. But it's probably not going to happen. Then we have the Righteous and the Hardys versus Order 4. The Light just have been wanting to team with the Hardys, so they're going to get the opportunity to team with the Hardys and face Order 4. Really, this match doesn't make any sense. They haven't really been feuding Order 4 and the Hardys and the Righteous. They've been like doing stuff with the system on TNA. They haven't really interacted all that much on TNA really that much, so I don't really understand why this match is happening. If they were going to do the Righteous and the Hardys teaming up, they should have just done the system to make the system look strong and then maybe bring Boost back then, but that didn't really seem to happen. So this match really doesn't make much sense. This match could go either way, because Mustafa Ali's still feuding with Elijah, so they could have Elijah come in and cost Mustafa Ali the match, because they're supposed to have a casket match on TNA coming up next week, which I don't know why that match isn't here. And then you did the 8-man tag that they did on TNA this past week, or just put the Righteous in there. Just this match doesn't really make much sense. Or they could have, the Righteous and the Hardys really can't seem to work much together as a tag team, so then it causes Order 4 to win. I'm going to predict the first one, though. I'm going to predict that the Righteous and the Hardys will win via Elijah interference. I do think we're going to get something happening with the Hardys and the Righteous. Maybe they'll become a faction, but then the Righteous will turn on them. Pretty interested in that, I think that's been done pretty well. So that's been pretty okay. Then we have Xia Li defending the Knockouts title against Ariana Grace. This is just really weird. They've kind of backed off on Ariana being all heel. Now she's apologized to her father, Santino, for turning on him. And now she got him to get this Knockouts title match. I assume this is obviously a ruse because then on TNA last night, she stole his Cobra. So obviously they're up to something. I don't know why they're going back to this because they already did the angle when she turned, so I don't know why they're just going to do it again. Doesn't really make much sense. I assume they're doing this to make Santino look bad in the board's eyes, so Daria Way will become like the new, general manager of TNA. Not a fan of this. I'm not really a fan of this storyline. If it leads to Santino Marella becoming the general manager of NXT and getting away from all this bullshit, then fine. I'd be all for that. But I don't think that's what's going on here. Xia Li's totally retaining. There's no way Ariana Grace wins this. I imagine she'll lose this match and then she'll turn on her father again. This match doesn't make sense. It really put the Knockouts division on hold because Ash by Elegance returned and she should have just gotten a title shot and she has a rematch, and then everything just kind of got all messed up because they did this match. So Xia Li is going to totally retain the title. Then we have the main event. It's a really random tag match. It's Mike Santana and Leon Slater versus Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards. Obviously, the big story of this match is that Mike Santana's in jeopardy because everyone has a claim to get a title shot against him. Eddie Edwards has the world title Feast of Fired briefcase. Nick Nemeth has the Call Your Shot gauntlet trophy. And then Leon Slater has the X Division title, and he can cash that in using option C to get a title shot. So they obviously want the big sell of the match is that Mike Santana is in major jeopardy of losing the title. I predict that Mike Santana and Leon Slater are going to win the match. I just think that's what's going to happen. I think Mike Santana's got some good momentum. Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards really don't team that much, so I could see something happening where their egos get the best of them, and then it causes Mike Santana to pin Nick with the clothesline. I forget the name of it. Not the Rolling Buck 50, but Spin the Block. That's what it is. Spin the Block. And then maybe afterwards, Leon Slater will announce he's cashing it in, but he's gonna do it fairly. Do it at Sacrifice, which I think would be kind of cool. I imagine Steve Macklin will make an appearance post match. He's gonna lay out Mike Santana after the match, and then maybe afterwards, Eddie Edwards and Nick Nemeth will try to cash in one of their shots. And, obviously, Steve Macklin will, maybe lay them out also. So that way he can have Mike Santana be champion when they face off. But I'm interested in this match. I just think it's really random. That's the kind of the big thing about this pay-per-view is like it's a really random show. Just none of the matches really like have really had the build behind them, and it's really just weird. They just kind of threw these matches together. But whatever, probably be a good show. So we'll see what happens. I'll repeat my predictions again just so that way you guys can kind of hear them again at the end. I predict that Rosemary will win the Knockouts Battle Royal. I predict that Eric Young's going to beat BDE. Indy Hartwell and Zaya Brookside will become the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Leah and Lee will attain the Knockouts title. The Hardys and the Righteous will beat Order 4. Trey Miguel becomes the new international champion. And then Mike Santana and Leon Slater will win the tag match in the main event. So yeah, I'm looking forward to No Surrender, I guess. I'm probably not going to watch it live since I'll be watching SmackDown at the same time, so I'll probably watch it like the next morning. I'll try to get on here and like review it. I'll probably like next week just review No Surrender, the following episodes of TNA Impact and Explosion just in the same video like I did with Genesis, because I got other videos and other plans throughout the week, so it's just easier to get it done on Friday. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about some other things that have been happening in TNA, throughout the shows and everything like that. Since I haven't really talked a lot about it, but the system got a reboot. Obviously, I don't know if I covered that episode of TNA. I don't think I did. But after the TNA, after Genesis, JDC said that he was going to pick the new member of the system. He ended up picking Bear Bronson, I think it is. Was it Bodo? I think it's Bronson. And that was a good choice. Obviously he's signed to TNA now and stuff, which I think is a good get for TNA. But there was a swerve at the end. Eddie Edwards announces there's going to be 2 members kicked out of the system and, one brought in. 2 members brought in, I guess. Because then he low-blowed JDC, and then he, they started attacking him, and then Cedric Alexander went out to make the save, and then he beat up Moose. Well, they were beating up Moose before then, and then Cedric Alexander teased like he was going to make a save, but then we found out he was a part of all this. And yeah, the system now consists of Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Cedric Alexander, and Bear Bronson. Really wish they could have done this the first week they were on AMC. I think that would have, been a good thing to like really remember at the end of the premiere, kind of like when the Inner Circle formed. When AEW had the first episode, but obviously the timing just didn't really work out for that. Kind of would have been better, I guess, if they could have, the only way they could have done something, but that would have been a nice hook to kind of make people want to come back. But whatever. I've enjoyed the new system. I think they needed like a little bit of a reboot. They weren't necessarily getting stale, but I feel like they were going to get to the point where they were stale, and with JDC retiring, it kind of makes sense to go in this direction. I like the new system so far. Not a big fan of the new theme music. I kind of figured they were going to get new theme music anyways, since, JDC retired, but whatever. And, they have looked like a dominant faction so far. They took out the Hardys a couple weeks ago, and then they were going to take out Mike Santana until Moose returned, and then they won an 8-man tag, including the Hardys, Mike Santana, and Moose. The biggest caveat is that Alicia Edwards didn't know about any of this, so she's obviously been against the new system, and she kind of has to make a choice about what she wants to do, because she's mentioning that a contract's coming up pretty soon, which I think is obviously like a legit, but they'll obviously work it into the story. I imagine, if she actually doesn't resign, she'll just leave, and that would be it. But I imagine that she's going to end up resigning, and probably there'll be a match that Moose has against one of the members of the system, probably Eddie Edwards, where she'll cost him the match and actually join the new system to kind of stick by her husband. I thought that was going to happen last night during the 8-man tag, but it didn't. So, but yeah, I enjoy the new system. I wish they had done that the first week they were on AMC, but it's whatever. So, and then they also did Feast or Fired. That was interesting. Don't love the concept of Feast and Fired. It doesn't really make much sense, but everyone got a briefcase, and Eddie Edwards got a briefcase. Eric Young got a briefcase, and Eric Young got a briefcase. Who else got a briefcase? Trey Miguel got a briefcase, and I'm missing somebody. So it was Eddie Edwards, Steve Macklin, Eric Young, and Trey Miguel. I guess I just missed Steve Macklin, the most notable one. And obviously they did the reveal. Eric Young got the X Division title shot, which kind of surprised me. Trey Miguel got the international title shot. And then Eddie Edwards got the world title shot, and then Steve Macklin got fired. Obviously, they did this because in real life there was contract negotiations going on behind the scenes. But it seemed like they were able to get him back because then the next week, Santino said he was going to be allowed to come back and say goodbye to everybody. And Macklin laid him out afterwards. Like he said goodbye to everyone, and then Mike Santana, kind of said his words, saying that like he kind of made it feel like he belonged in TNA and said he's unselfish. And then he attacked him from behind, and they got into like a little bit of a brawl. So yeah, Macklin's a heel now. I'm pretty interested in this. I think he hasn't been a babyface really that long. I think he turned in like 2024 when he was tag team with Eric Young, and then he did the stuff for the international title. But I'm interested to see what they do with them. If they were able to get him down, that's a huge name for TNA to get because it's like an original. He's someone that's been in the mainstay of TNA. And I'm interested to see like a Steve Macklin, Mike Santana feud. I'll be interested to see what they do with that. Does he win the title? I don't know. Because I don't even know if they still locked him down to a contract. There's been nothing said about that yet. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with Steve Macklin. Not really much else has happened with TNA. They kind of continued the Ryan Nemeth, Jakara Jackson, Mara Sade feud. And they had Mara Sade beat him, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, because that's her hometown. So I guess that makes more sense why she lost at Genesis, because then she came back here and got the hometown reaction of winning. Yeah, not much else has really happened. Kind of broke it all down from the pay-per-view. So that's kind of it. I really don't have anything left to really say. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll try to definitely do more TNA videos. Definitely want to get the TNA report going. I thought, I was originally going to get it going, but then it just got busy. So I'll definitely try to do another episode next week. I'll definitely cover No Surrender. And the following episodes of TNA afterwards. I will say one thing I'm disappointed about is, TNA was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and throughout the promotion of it and everything like that, they were kind of saying that they were going to do something like Breaking Bad related, and like Better Call Saul, but we really didn't get that. The only thing we got from that was like the Elegance brand did an entrance, and of course I don't really like the Elegance brand, so that kind of pissed me off. I was kind of hoping like maybe not the actors would show up, but like since Matt Hardy's a big Breaking Bad fan, they would do something cinematic related to that, but not much really happened with it. So that's pretty much it. Really nothing left to say. I will say too, TNA's ratings, I guess that's the one thing I wanted to mention, has gone up. I don't think the first episode of AMC really didn't do all that well, but they've been going back. Like, I think they had the highest rated episode, the episode with AJ Francis and Rich Swann had like a hardcore match. So I hope they ratings keep going up, because I would love it if TNA can become the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world, because they were on a good path to that, like around Slammiversary, Bound for Glory time. But I feel like they've made some decisions I haven't really agreed with, like with taking the title off Mike Santana just to put it right back on him on the AMC premiere. The NXT invasion didn't really work out all that well, and then the first episode of AMC really didn't go all that well. So hopefully TNA can improve. We really haven't also gotten much inclusion with WWE recently. The partnership is still going, but it seems like ever since the AMC premiere, they haven't really crossed paths with each other all that much. It's really just been kind of like Stax and Ariana Grace going to TNA, and then kind of the same thing, which kind of was what makes the Stax and Ariana Grace storyline really weird, because obviously in NXT, they're like a unit, but on TNA, they're trying to do a dissension storyline. So this is really weird. But then, you know, the only other thing we've gotten is the Elegance brand went over to WWE, and you know, they defend the Knockouts titles against Aruka, so we really haven't gotten a lot of inclusion. I'm kind of hoping it's one of those occasions where, like, maybe sometimes you're gonna get a lot of it, sometimes you get none of it. Because I remember, like last year, it was in and out, but I'm not really hopeful for that. I'm thinking maybe WWE's not happy that TNA really dropped the ball in the first series premiere, because it's really been since the AMC premiere we haven't gotten a lot of inclusion from them. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy No Surrender. I'll definitely check it out, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. And check out all the videos on the channel and everything like that. Definitely have to get used to doing videos solo, because this video was a little all over the place, but I'm not used to doing videos by myself. I'm usually used to having a co-host now, so definitely have to get used to that again. But that's pretty much it, guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.